Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today at the Women's Yoga Council Speaker Series event. For those of you who are new, just a little background about the Women's Yoga Council. So, it was initially founded in the year 2020 and was previously known as the Vicky Karnataka Yoga Council, which was part of the Women's India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which is Vicky, and it's a premier national business chamber for women, envisioning global impact for women entrepreneurs, businesswomen, and professionals from all walks of life. It was under the umbrella of the Federation, which is FICCI, and it was supported by the G100, All Ladies League, Women Economic Forum, and She Economy. Vicky KYC found a new identity in the year 2025 and is now known as the Women's Yoga Council of India. Some of our goals are to drive fundamental changes in governmental policies, laws, incentives, and entrepreneurial ecosystems to encourage and empower women in business, industry, and commerce across all sectors and fields. Some of our past projects have been Yoga Samvad, a conversation on women, wellness, and yoga, Parishraya, a gathering of women yoga teachers across India and Karnataka. We also have a video series about the business of yoga. We have an ongoing monthly newsletter, and we have the Yogini Awards. Our vision is to develop world class, globally recognized work in the field of yoga, and our mission is to build a healthy community and ecosystem around yoga in India, to empower women yogipreneurs, to champion the causes of women yogipreneurs, to facilitate a larger conversation around yoga careers just beyond the classroom, to develop scholarships in yoga, to raise awareness on the work done by women in India and around the world in the field of yoga. Today, we have a very special guest with us who's Aayesha Mohan. Thank you, Aayesha, for joining us today.
Hi, Priya. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, I'm just going to introduce Aayesha before we get started with her. So Aisha is a versatile artist and is multi-talented, and I'm honored to introduce her. She's been engaged in drama, debate, she plays an instrument and has also been a Bollywood actress. Aisha is quite free-spirited, and after her stint in Bollywood and Hollywood, she decided to go on a soul-searching journey that led her to the spiritual path and eventually her heart's calling. She's been involved in yoga and meditation for over a decade now. She has keen interest in Advaita Vedanta, and she's been a forest dweller and been in the presence of many authentic Indian masters. She now lives in Ladakh and is working towards building her retreat center. That's beautiful, Aisha. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya.
Today, we're going to dive deep into the topic of meditation with Aisha. So, before we get started talking to her, I would request Aisha to please lead us through a guided meditation, and we can start right in, experience it, and then maybe talk to her about all the questions we have.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So, yeah, it's nice to begin with a meditation. Um, just come into the most comfortable position you can, taking this time to come into the present moment. Feel where you're sitting, feel your feet on the ground, feel your hands resting, your spine erect yet comfortable. Feel your shoulders relaxed, neck relaxed, face relaxed. Consciously relax your eyebrows, your forehead. Feel the crown of your head. Notice your breath. And now just simply noticing, checking in with yourself. Where are you emotionally? Where are you mentally and physically? We are not trying to control anything here. We are not trying to change anything. We are simply coming into presence. If you're struggling with anything right now, with any emotions, whether you're unhappy, bored, tired, grumpy, restless, just allow everything to arise naturally with complete acceptance. Can you feel a sense of loving kindness towards yourself, towards these feelings? We always start metta practice with giving loving kindness to ourselves, which is often quite difficult. Maybe there is a sense of guilt, of regret, and you need a sense of forgiveness for yourself. Recognizing and accepting everything that arises just as it is, honoring yourself. And sometimes it's difficult to feel this loving kindness for ourselves. And if it's hard, then can you think of anything, anyone that brings about a sense of love in you, where you naturally feel this love without any effort? It can be a tree, a flower, a dog, a child. Usually, it's a thing that loves us unconditionally. And when you think of this one person or one thing, see the impact it has on your being. Notice this effortless love. Running throughout your being. And now just direct this same sense of love and kindness towards yourself. We have this idea of ourselves to be perfect, but personalities can never be perfect. Personalities will always remain imperfect, changing. So let's connect with that space within that is ever changing, the source of metta, the source of loving kindness, free of any harshness, free of any judgment, all accepting, all embracing. And maybe it doesn't make sense to you right now. Even if you don't resonate with this, it's okay. You can still try and be cultivating thoughts of loving kindness, first for yourself. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be free of any harm. May I be at peace. May I be free of anxiety, of fear, of hatred, of delusions. May I receive dharma freely so I can effortlessly face any challenges in life. May I always walk the path of truth. You can visualize a bright white light or golden light running throughout your being, emanating from every cell of your body. This is the light of metta, of loving kindness. And now you can let this light spread and expand to all the people that you dearly love, your family, your parents, your siblings, no matter where they are, just wishing them well, cultivating the thoughts of loving kindness towards them. May they be well, may they be happy, always loved, healthy. May they be free from any harm. May they be free from fears, from hatred, from sadness. May they lead an auspicious life of dharma. May they reach the highest and make the best use of this human birth. Expanding your circle of loving kindness, of metta, even more, including all your friends, your colleagues, people you know. Maybe someone just pops up in your mind who would really do with some metta right now. And maybe it's just general. Just thinking of these words, may all my friends, my colleagues be well, be happy, be loved. May they live a good life, an auspicious life. May they all have access to teachings to overcome any challenges. May everyone be free of suffering and confusion. And now, only if it's possible, without too much effort, to expand this circle and include someone that you're really struggling with, someone you may perceive as your enemy, without being harsh on your own self. See if you can include them in your metta, in your loving kindness. May they be well. May I have no resentment towards them. May they have no hostility towards me. May there be no hatred, but only kindness between us. This may not be easy, and you don't have to do it, but you can always give it a try to send them loving kindness. And maybe it will magically transform your relationship with them. And if you feel that you are too angry or hurt, or there is fear while practicing this, then you can just let go and have compassion towards this feeling, compassion towards yourself for not being able to do it, not now. And expanding your circle of light, of loving kindness to include all the sentient beings, especially the beings that are suffering right now, that would really need some metta. There have been so many floods lately. So we can pray for everyone who has faced loss, loss of a loved one, loss of their own health, loss of livelihood. People who are living in fear at the moment. May they find prosperity. May they be well, happy, loved, protected, and may they have dharma. May they follow the teachings. And now sending loving kindness to all the beings that are happy, living an auspicious life, and having a sense of equanimity within yourself, knowing that all of this is just a play, just a dream. Coming back to yourself, check with yourself once again. How am I feeling right now? How am I emotionally, mentally, physically? We are not looking for anything in particular, just accepting as we are. Maybe there is more peace, maybe there is more anxiety. It doesn't matter. Directing this beautiful, bright light of loving kindness towards our own self. Wishing all of you a beautiful, auspicious life. May you all reach the highest. Whenever you're ready, in your own time, you can gently open your eyes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Aisha. That was really. I love this form of meditation because there's so much compassion involved towards ourselves and others. It's just lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, can you tell us a little more about mindfulness and meditation? Are they the same thing?
Mindfulness can be, all mindfulness is meditation, but all meditation is not mindfulness. So before we start, I just want to mention that all of these are just my present views that can change, you know. This is just my perception of.
Yeah, no, we're all evolving, so things we may find true at the moment may not be a little later. So,
Yeah. So yeah, I feel mindfulness is, it can be a practice on itself. It is a very beautiful practice, but it's also, the flowering of meditation when it starts happening very spontaneously. When you, practice meditation regularly, you automatically start being more present in life.
well, yes, mindfully eating, mindfully walking, mindfully talking to other people, becoming aware of your emotions and stuff. Yeah,
So it is a practice, but also the result.
yeah, true.
No. And meditate mindfulness can also be seen as, it can be practiced while dealing with the world, in action. It can be practiced when you are in action dealing with the world outside you. And meditation is when you have withdrawn all your senses and when you look within.
True.
So it's almost like an inhale and exhale, where meditation is more inhale and mindfulness is more exhale.
Right.
Also, can you, if I tell you right now, focus on your breath
Mm-hmm.
versus be aware of your breath,
Right.
can you feel the difference? So, mindfulness in a way is being aware, being aware of all of it, being present to the moment and being awake in it completely and fully. Whereas meditation can be just focusing on one object.
Got it. So it's also more like an observation.
Yeah, witnessing all of it versus being focused and merging into one thing. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, since you spoke about breath, Aisha, can you talk a little more about the importance of breath? And there are so many pranayama practices that emphasize, on breath and meditation. So can you share a little more about it with us, the importance of it?
It's, even if you're not on the yogic path, it's quite easy to understand that there is a very big and, direct relation between our mental and emotional states and the breath.
Right.
When you are anxious, when you are excited or angry, your breath is really rapid, it's so fast.
Yes.
And even if you're going through very deep sadness, you must have seen we sigh a lot. है ना? So that means these states have a big effect on our breath. And if that's true, then it's possible then that even the opposite is true. That if we learn how to calm our breath, no matter what the external situation is, we can have a calm mind,
It's true.
you know. So Maharishi Patanjali said that pranayam, and he doesn't discuss all these pranayams that were actually introduced in the 13th century. He says for him pranayam is a regulated breath.
Mhm.
Without going too deep into it, his yoga sutras talk about how pranayam have the power to unveil, like uncover the light within, and also ready the mind for the next step, which is meditation. So it's one of the most important parts of his Ashtanga Yoga, pranayam, regulated breath. With a lot of my yoga students, and with me also, I realized we don't know how to breathe properly.
Correct.
We are too hurried, living in a very hurried world, and we don't breathe completely. So
Right.
the yogic way of breathing, our inhalations should be complete, and our exhalations should be much longer than our inhalations,
Right.
almost double our inhalations. Would you like to try it? It's a beautiful experiment you can do right away.
Still.
Just inhale and exhale first. Exhale all the breath out. And now inhale Om 1, Om 2, Om 3, Om 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So in this process, we are not holding on to the stale breath, which is actually leading the mind to be very lethargic and tired and depressed. When we let go of all the stale breath, we are actually inviting the fresh supply of oxygen in the body, which leaves the mind quite refreshed and rejuvenated.
It's true.
So such an important effect it has on our being, on our well-being.
Yeah, it's very true. Beautiful. Usually you'd just be like, okay, inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts, but a longer exhalation is also more relaxing to the body.
Yeah. So when you think you have exhaled enough, exhale 2 more counts. If you practice that and see the difference, it's all experiential.
Yeah, true, true.
Mhm.
Cool. So you led us through a beautiful loving kindness meditation. It's actually one of my favorite forms of meditation, and I try to practice that regularly. But there are also other different forms of meditation, like Vipassana technique. They focus on body scanning. And so, can you share a little more about how this is different from other forms of meditation that we use, and when should this be used?
The body scanning meditation. So, body scan is one of the techniques of meditation, uh, very Buddhist, and it's also used a lot in yoga during shavasans. So,
Right.
and even yog nidra for that matter. So, we run the light of our awareness throughout our body, throughout each and every part of the body, relaxing every part. In Shavasana, it's used to relax the body and to absorb all the benefits of the asanas into the body. So it's a very important asana, one of the most important. Whereas in Yog Nidra, it is taking you much deeper because Yog Nidra is much longer.
Mhm.
It's taking you much deeper into a space where true transformation can happen because it's guiding you to a place which is between waking and dream.
Right.
a very powerful state where you can actually transform the brain.
Yeah.
So, my first and very powerful experience with body scan meditation was at Vipassana actually. So, in Vipassana, this is a big part of it where we do run our awareness throughout our body very slowly. At first, we are aware of all the gross sensations, and the more you do it, you start sensing these very subtle form of energy within. And at first, there are parts of your body which are totally absent. You don't feel them at all, you know. And then you can actually go much deeper into yourself. And we are encouraged not to be attracted to any sensation and not to have an aversion towards any sensation. That's the key. No attraction, no aversion. Just watch the sensation as it is. It's not easy, but it's such a beautiful practice. So, my first Vipassana, when I got down from the train
Mhm.
and I got my bag out, I pulled a muscle. So, before entering the Vipassana center, I was already in pain. And Vipassana can be quite painful for some of us, And I was walking in with so much pain. The first 4 days was so much of a struggle, you know. On the fourth day, I was in that one of the alone cells called pagoda, and I was meditating, and I actually understood that practicing the practice of not labeling it as pain. So when I stopped labeling it, and I started inquiring into that sensation very deeply, very honestly, that what is this sensation that I call pain? How far do I feel it? What is it, the texture of it? I started making friends with it, and it became an anchor for my meditation. There was no resistance, so pain didn't turn into suffering.
Right.
How powerful and beautiful that is if we can actually have a remembrance of that throughout our life. So, a very powerful form of meditation.
Did you feel like your pain ceased to exist after you got to that point?
You know, I very honestly, I had that moment of ecstasy, of friendship with the pain, but very next day, the pain must have come back. It's very hard to keep up with
Yeah.
our wisdom, then that resistance, ego comes back, that resistance come back, you know.
Memory.
So
And
I think spirituality is actually a moment to moment practice of remembering. We all know it, but it's all about the practice, which is moment to moment. You will forget, come back to it. You will forget, come back to it. Yeah.
So body scans, one of them. I've also, seen and experienced some of them. There are other forms of meditation as well. There are some that we do lying down, like Yoga Nidra is one very popular lying down meditation technique. Others do movement meditation. Some others do like trying to be as still as possible and seated. So when is it appropriate to do any of these techniques? Is there like this is this time you kind of do this and this is when you're feeling you do this is there anything like that?
I'm only going to talk about this with my very limited knowledge and experience, actually. So for me, it's all a combination.
Mhm.
It has to be a combination of all of them together. The way I was trained in meditation, which I resonate with the most, and that's the form of meditation I teach also,
Okay.
which is in Zen, when I was living in the Zen monastery, even when we had like long 10, 12 hours of meditations every day, when we were going through retreats, how there the meditation work was that every half an hour, you would hear a gong,
Okay.
and whoever wants to, if you are in a deep state of samadhi, you don't have to. But if you want, you can get up and slowly walk for 5 minutes, then another gong, and you come back to sitting. This was so beautiful for me. It was so refreshing to come back every time. And and towards the end of the day, I would be in much deeper states, much more quieter states, because there was a lot of compassion around it. When you can move your body every half an hour, very advanced practitioners, Zen practitioners there. They would take 5 minutes to even lift their foot off the ground. I am not kidding. They were so, I would walk very normally and be aware of the movements. But these people were so mindful of every single movement. When you're moving your toe, where do you feel it in your body?
Oh, wow.
It's very beautiful. So, and I've seen it really helps when I'm guiding other people to meditate as well. Because your legs start hurting after a point. So when you get up and move around a little bit, you can come back with a very refreshed mind. Some people will resonate with it, some people won't. Okay, it was my thing. I love it. Lying down is very beautiful when you're doing a practice like Yog Nidra. I like to meditate or actually listen to guided meditations when I'm going off to sleep. The trouble in lying down meditation, even when I have my students sometimes just lie down, they go off to sleep.
I know. Yeah. You're
Suddenly there's
so
one person snoring.
relaxed. Yeah, you're so totally relaxed. You just like let go.
So that's a bit tricky. Lying down is a bit tricky. So it's really beautiful for me when I am actually ready to sleep and to relax myself down to sleep with that presence is to wake up with that presence. So I like it when before sleeping. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if it works differently for other people.
Yeah. So sometimes that happened with me. Like I would fall asleep during yoga nidra, so then I sit and do my yoga nidra practice.
Yeah, it's always best to have your spine erect.
Yeah.
It really helps your mind to focus better.
Yeah, not just that, because of course we also have an energetic body, right? So we have a lot of like chakras above and below the body as well. So keeping your spine erect kind of helps build that vertical pillar of energy that you have as well. So it's always beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, now like it's a part of everyone's meditation practice. It still happens with me. I've been meditating for a good few years as well, right? Now, when you close your eyes, your mind keeps wandering away, and then so how do you kind of come back? Like, what do you do to kind of continue your meditation practice?
It's first of all very, very natural to have a wandering mind. Unless you are a really advanced practitioner who has had lifetimes of sadhana,
Right.
you will have a wandering mind. Initially, what helped me was there's a Buddhist master called Pema Chodron,
Mhm.
very beautiful teacher, and she said that there are three kinds of thoughts that can come to you when you are meditating. One is, let's say that you have set an alarm for half an hour, you know, and the moment you start meditating, the alarm goes off, and that's when you realize you were lost throughout. You know, the second kind of thought is which takes you sort of get carried away for a few lines, for a few minutes, but you come back and you come back and you come back. That's the only way to do it. Whenever you realize that you are thinking, don't even judge the thought. Just term it as thinking. No guilt around it, no harshness. That's also a play of ego. Very kindly, with very compassionately, come back to yourself. Come back to your object of meditation. And then there is a third kind of thought, very interesting. So you are meditating, you're very present with your object of meditation, but in the background there is a noise. It can be gibberish, it can be words that you do understand, but you are still present. You're not lost in your thoughts. But there is a background layer of thoughts and you can't do anything about it. So let it be, let it happen. As long as you're present, that will quieten down by itself. So our point is to just keep coming back no matter how much the mind wanders. In the Zen monastery, they gave us a beautiful technique called rain.
Yeah.
RAIN, rain. It's an acronym where R stands for recognize, A, accept, I, investigate, and N, non identify. So when there is a disturbing thought or a wandering mind, you first recognize what's going on. The moment you recognize, without any judgment, accept as it is. Whatever arises, you recognize, you accept. Now you investigate. Where am I feeling the sensation without labeling it? No good, bad, no pleasant, unpleasant, nothing. Just uh, watch the sensation, investigate into it, and then don't identify with it. Non identification. The moment you don't identify, suddenly you,
Feel free.
this space, this vastness, this expansiveness around that emotion, feeling, thought, and that doesn't have any hold over you then. It's easier to let go.
Right.
So, a beautiful technique, and no matter what is your object of meditation, you can always practice rain.
Right.
Hmm.
On our path or journey of meditation, is there like a progression? How does one know that, they're progressing in their meditation practice? Like, what effects does it have on your body? When do they actually start noticing the effects?
I think how to measure spiritual progress. It's when the negativity in you, especially towards the world, the reactions towards the world decrease. Okay, so there is a Swamiji, very beautiful, practical way of measuring progress he gives. Very beautiful. He says when the negative emotions that you have, anger, depression, anxiety, when the frequency, intensity, and the recovery period decreases. So, if you get depressed or angry very often, once a week, now it only happens once in a while. So the frequency decreases, that's progress. The intensity, first, the depression was too dark, too heavy, and now it's a sense of unhappiness, you know. And recovery period is, let's say earlier the depression, anger would last few days, few weeks, whatever, and now it starts in the morning, it's over by afternoon. That's also recovery period for me. I would also have after effects of these emotions. Like if I lost it in anger, then I would have days of feeling guilty.
Right.
And that is also
How quickly do you bounce back into the set?
grasping onto that moment, right? I'm not letting it go. Guilt is a big play of ego. So that recovery period lessons where you aa gaya, chala gaya, let go. You surrender more easily. So when frequency, intensity, and recovery period lessen, that's when you're progressing spiritually.
That's very, very true. And you actually see that just as you keep going forward, you notice all this in hindsight, right? So, one of my gurus also used to say, like, your anger should be such that, when you draw a line in water, like, that's how quickly it should come and that's how quickly it should go as well.
Yeah. And this also reminds me in Vipassana, one of the things they teach us is that the brain, our mind is actually divided into four parts: consciousness, perception, sensation, reaction.
Okay.
So because I'm conscious, I can perceive. And now that I'm perceiving, there'll be a thought in me, whether I like it or not. It will create a sensation in me,
Yeah.
and automatically a reaction will come out. So I'm passing and there is some bad smell. I have a sensation I don't like it. The reaction is I cover my nose, right? It happens very spontaneously. And we only realize what happened after a reaction.
Yeah.
Vipassana slows down this process. So now all of this happening is very, very slow motion. And right after that sensation part, I have a choice now to
Yes.
respond the way I want, and I can respond in anger, but it's conscious anger. I own that anger. I have decided to, it's not, I'm not run by my anger. I'm deciding to express it. I feel conscious anger is much better. It's a form of expression, and why not?
Of course. And actually, with meditation, you kind of become so aware that you start to catch it very earlier on, like you said, right? Like, I would realize later after I get angry, but after meditation, it's like, oh, I am getting angry. So the anger is coming up. Then I choose to express it or do something else about it.
Yeah. So powerful. It
Yeah.
actually helps us to lead such a conscious and happier life.
So obviously when you're meditating, Aisha, a lot of like thoughts and emotions kind of come up. How do you deal with all of these uncomfortable emotions during meditation? Like what, how do you kind of let them go? And then a lot of people kind of have this impression that after meditation they must always feel zen like, but what if they don't feel relaxed?
Yeah, that's a big misconception, very a big myth of meditation. And it's not bad to have disturbing thoughts while meditating. We always think good meditation is the meditation where we are all peaceful.
Yeah,
Actually, if we are disturbed and if we can sit through it, that is what is making our roots much stronger.
exactly.
So when you open a tap of water, which hasn't been, turned on for ages, when you turn it on first, a lot of mucky water will come.
Yeah,
And
true.
you let it run, and then the clean water will come. That's the same way, when you sit for meditation, first you'll have to go through all the restlessness, and this is years, not even years, lifetimes. And how meditation helps us is that I am learning not to suppress these emotions, and I'm learning not to react to them. It's
Correct.
very powerful. So I'm not suppressing and I'm not reacting. So I'm letting them arise. I'm accepting them. I'm giving them loving kindness. I have compassion towards myself. I let arise all these thoughts, all these emotions, so that they can release.
True.
So I feel them to free them. So whenever you have, you know, times when you are struggling, struggle. Go deep into that struggle, inquire into that struggle, sit through it,
Yeah, be 100% present with it, right? With that.
allow it. You're also allowed. Come, invite it.
Yeah, that's when you kind of let go of the whole the resistance you have like through it, right? Like you just let go of it. So it's very interesting. But then sometimes you kind of feel like, am I just inviting the emotion, or am I kind of thinking about it more and more and more and just going in a downward spiral? Like when do you stop it?
Stop this story, focus only on the sensation.
Emotion, okay.
That's the key. Drop the story around it. Someone hurt me. I'm not going into thoughts of why this person hurt me and he shouldn't have hurt me and all that jazz. I am just focusing on the feeling of being hurt. I am only present to the sensations in my body, not the story around it. If you're busy in your story, then you're probably not meditating. And also with these, the trouble only happens when I say I am angry. When I own that anger, when I own that anxiousness or restlessness, that's when it starts giving me trouble. If I drop the I am from it
Mhm.
and I experience this as a natural phenomenon, I haven't invented this anger, it arose. And I watch it as anger without calling it mine. It's much easier to observe it, you know. And that's the only way to free from it. Otherwise, we are just suppressing and it will come back.
True. It's true. Are there any other myths around meditation that people have?
Yeah, that it should always be peaceful. It should always be thoughtless. A lot of people come to me that I sit, and whenever I'm sitting, I'm full of thoughts. I can't meditate. That's meditation.
That's
You're
okay.
sitting with your thoughts. You're sitting through it. What courage you need. You need to have a warrior spirit to sit with yourself.
It's true.
Mm.
One of my teachers, she says that, you go to the same spot every day and watch the sunset. It is going to be different. You're not going to have the same sunset every day, right?
Yeah.
So like you sit for meditation every day. It's not going to be happy and peaceful and rainbows and butterflies every day. Like you're human, all the human emotions, everything will come up. So it is going to be different.
Good if they come up. Again, another Buddhist master says that we don't meditate to control our thoughts. We meditate so that we are not controlled by our thoughts,
Yes.
you know, so that these thoughts are just a part of it and we can still abide in the spaciousness that we truly are.
Yeah. What's the ultimate goal of meditation? Like, why do people practice meditation?
God realization, self realization, and then God realization. Yeah.
So, just also maybe feel like you're part of that bigger energy, right? You are part of it instead of feeling separate from it.
When you lose yourself, अरे बहुत अच्छी चीज याद आई, इंसान को मुक्ति नहीं मिलती, इंसान से मुक्ति मिलती है. A sadhu once said this. When you are liberated, इंसान को मुक्ति नहीं मिलती, इंसान से मुक्ति मिलती है. When we go beyond ourselves, when my essence is no more because I have become that. And that is why they say meditate on a higher consciousness, because whatever you find samadhi in, you become that. In this year in Tibetan Buddhism, I don't know how much should I share, but there is a very beautiful path of Vajra Yogini where
Yes.
you dress up as a deity and you become the deity. When you're meditating, you tap into that consciousness and you feel like you are that. And then you meditate.
Wow.
Very powerful practice, to tap into the consciousness of Ramana Maharishi, of Guru Nanak, of Jesus Christ, become them, and then meditate.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
Yeah, it is, right? Because unless you kind of, we keep saying we are part of the divine, but when are you actually going to feel and experience that? When are you going to accept and believe it to do it, right? You have to do it.
Yeah, yeah, all you need is that conviction. You have the knowledge, just that conviction is missing. We have so much self doubt, you know. Our personalities are so limited, they are so imperfect, and we are just constantly trying to make ourselves perfect instead of realizing that we have to just accept our imperfect selves and identify and connect with something which is perfect. Hmm.
Lovely. How does one go deeper in their meditation practice? So as we kind of progress, are there, more intense meditations that one should do, or different mantras one should practice? So how do you kind of feel like you're going deeper in your practice? How do you progress in your meditation practice and go deeper in it?
Recently, my one of my masters, I asked him the same question, and he gave such a beautiful answer. He said, "Abhyas and Vairagya."
Mhm.
And I've known the meaning of these two terms. Abhyas means practice, practice, practice.
Mhm.
Vairagya means dispassion for the world. But then he explained me what it means to practice and what it means to be dispassionate. He said, practice whatever is taking you towards the divinity, whatever is taking you towards that peace, towards that truth, towards the spirit. Practice that. Whatever is an obstacle on the path, he said, tatkal tyag do. Instant renunciation of that. So if you are constantly on your phone, on social media, and you know that is not serving your purpose on this, not serving your purpose in this life, immediately, not gradual, immediately leave it. If you're not being able to renunciate it immediately, then you don't have enough vairagya.
Yeah, dispassion.
Yeah, so if something you think it's not serving you on your path, immediately leave it. And whatever is serving, meditation, mantra, satsang, yoga, whatever it is that is serving you on your path, keep practicing that.
Yeah, beautiful. It's hard to do though, Easy, some things are easier said than done, but of course, unless you keep practicing, it's not going to become a practice.
And you know what? Yeah, what really helps here? Satsang.
Yeah.
To be in that holy company is and you see when these masters are doing that, then it's more effortless.
Yeah.
You know,
You have an example in front of you who's able to do it, and so through your sangha and satsang also it's possible.
yeah.
Thank you. So, a lot of these old masters and meditation gurus and teachers also say that meditation help us let go of our old fears, unhealthy habits, emotional baggage, traumas, and even karma. You know, that kind of all of these emotional baggages, etc., traumas lead us to being diseased and unwell. So, you know, how first of all, how does meditation help us let go of all of this, plus even, clear our karma? And then can you talk a little more about things like energy body?
Yeah. I think this is going to be a little repetitive, but I think quite important to mention here that when we are meditating,
Mhm.
the point is to let everything arise.
Right.
Connect with our body first because we are lost in our minds. We are lost in the story, illusionary story of our life. And we are so disconnected from our being, even our physical bodies. And that's when we give space for disease to happen.
Yeah.
If we are very aware of the body and our being, and of course, that source within us, then that can cause a lot of healing, a lot of release of old traumas, even habitual patterns, negative habitual patterns, because you watch the sensation. Again, you're not suppressing it. Suppression is evil in a way, We are letting it happen. Let it arise. Give it love. Give that pain love and let it release. Feel it to free it.
Yeah.
So this is the only way we can let go of our habitual patterns, our and this is how we are burning karma also, if you come to think about it. By being with the sensations, we are going through a lot of pain,
Yes.
but we are unconditional towards that pain. We are not attached to that pain, and we let it release. So a lot of samskaras are being released. All the negative samskaras, vrittis are being released in this process. And the second question was about
Body, yeah.
energy body. Eh, What's the question? Sorry.
Can you talk? Of course, we're not just the physical body, but we're also, we have many more sheets to us. There's energy body, and we've got the aura. And so, obviously, in like the Indian yogic culture, we have many layers of our body. So, would you be able to share a little more about that?
Yeah, I think it's best to feel it. Right now as we talk,
Mhm.
just be present to that energy field within your body. There is a sensation that you can feel very strongly, and we are not going into the five sheets of uh, different bodies, but right now experientially we can feel the energy body around us. And the more we keep our awareness in this energy field, the more it expands. And that is what is called aura.
Yeah.
When we say this person has a good energy, what does it mean? It has a wider, bigger energy. So the more we are with that energy, the more it expands. The more we avoid it, ignore it, keep it in darkness, the more it will shrink. you know so this is very experiential. You don't even have to be on the yogic path. Nobody can deny this feeling of existence,
Yeah.
this buzz in the body of existence, the feeling of being alive, which is way more than the physical body. We all know it in our hearts.
And then Aisha, of course, modern day, we've got science and people keep talking about neuroplasticity. So can you talk a little about neuroplasticity and how does meditation have an impact on that?
Oh, a big impact. Neuroplasticity is actually the ability or capacity of the mind to reshape itself. And what meditation can help with, See, like Krishnamurti, Jiddu Krishnamurti says now that whatever we observe, just that act of observing brings about a transformation in what is observed.
Right.
Even in old ancient Tibetan scriptures, they say seeing is liberating. you know so when we see, we liberate. So what meditation does, it makes new neural pathways. It's like if you're in a dense forest, it and you start clearing off one of the, just start making a path. You clear off the stones and bushes and you start walking on it every single day. That becomes a trail,
Correct.
and eventually it can even become a road or a highway. But this is what meditation does. It creates conscious positive neural pathways in our brain, reshaping it so that we can let go of the old patterns. So very powerful.
Yeah. Lovely. Wow. And do you have any advice for people who are just starting off meditation? What practices can be accessible to them? And any kind of advice for people just who are new to it, beginners?
Yeah, one is abhyas and vairagya, very important. Keep the practice up, make a time, if possible, make a definite time space, and be regular in your practice, and be mindful. Keep checking in with yourself, how you're feeling. Give yourself enough compassion and love. That makes the practice so much easier. It's so much kinder to yourself.
True.
And I we have been running these meditation retreats online and offline. We run a studio in Ladakh called Unmani Wellness,
Okay.
where we do therapies, we do yin yoga, hatha yoga, meditations, tarot, you
Oh,
know.
wow.
Uh, and we also, through Satopath, we also give guided meditation online.
Beautiful.
So very accessible. And who's
Yes.
there to assist in any way, serve in any way, we can.
Lovely. Yes. Thank you so much, Aisha. It was lovely, lovely, lovely having you. And we're definitely going to put up this conversation on YouTube. So, everyone, please feel free to follow us on YouTube. We're Women's Yoga Council of India. And you can also follow Aisha at Satopat, sato.pat on Instagram. And of course, she mentioned the name of her retreat center and Ulmani Meditation Center, right? Yeah. So whenever you go to Leh, visit her. And also through the Women's Yoga Council of India, we're also a network of solid, strong yoga teachers. Reach out to us if you have any questions, you need any help, any collaboration, anything, right? Like we're all here in this together, walking each other through, right? So thank you so much, everyone. And thank you, Aisha. It was
Thank you,
lovely.
Priya. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank
Really, thank you so much.
you. Mutual feeling. Thank you. Okay. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.